In the end of 2023, I turned 30 years old, and throughout my 20s, I remember to think what I would like to have achieved and the type of person I would like to be by the time that I was 30. And as this milestone was approaching, I started to feel the pressure as I wanted to have the feeling of fulfillment and to look back and think I did it. And to my surprise, I did feel that I was where I wanted to be. So in this video, I will share with you 8 lessons that I learned during my 20s decade that I believe I will take with me and apply to the rest of my life. The first one is the one that sets the basis for all the rest. And I wish I would have done this much sooner, probably as I was finishing high school. It's to make a long-term plan of your life. Reflect and imagine what type of life you want to live and make this video in your head as detailed as possible. What type of person are you? How do you talk? How do you dress? Who is around you? What do you do for a living? What is your daily routine looking like? What are the experiences you have? How much money do you have? Write down all the details that you can think of and set a date, for example, a year, that you believe you can achieve this life. And make sure that you make this exercise alone. Don't let anyone, not your parents, not your closest friends, influence anything that you write. I believe that only after doing this exercise you can access where you currently are and what are the steps you need to take to reach where you want to be. Without a vision, you will be lost. And this exercise will allow you to make a plan step by step, and it will guide you, especially in the great decisions of your life. Where do you want to live? Your career path, and with who, if any, you want to share your life with. If you always keep this vision in your mind, you will always know what is right or wrong for you. And of course, it is allowed to revisit and adjust the plan. Just make sure you have one. Take control of your finances. I think I made a big mistake on this one because I only started to control my accounts and my money in my mid-20s. I was always very careful where and in what I spent my money, so saving was not a problem, but I lost huge opportunities to make it grow. I only realized the power of investing when luckily my dad suggested to invest my money in a fund that eventually I completely forgot about. That's how irresponsible I was. And years later, I remember that I invested and I went to check the account and it saw it had grown with all the dividends. So throughout the years, I had money working for me, which was true passive income, and I had no idea about it. So educate yourself on how can you invest your money and understand the fiscal system of the country where you live. Make routines to check where your expenses are going and make an emergency fund. They will not teach you in this school, and I have graduated in business and economics. And again, this is very much connected with your life plan, as you will have to finance your dream life somehow. So set financial goals for yourself that will allow to live the life you want. Next is to discover, to be more curious on what is out there. We live in a time where we can more easily than before create several sources of income with the help of the internet, for example. We have access to all this information and for free, where you can upgrade your skills, learn how to set up different income streams and diversify our source of income and learn something new. I feel like I came too late for the party. I was much more of an entertainment consumer rather than reading and watching and consuming content that would actually benefit me and help me get closer to my goals. I should have been more curious. I should have invested more of my time in learning new skills and exploring what is out there instead of just watching movies and not doing anything really productive during my off time. So investing in yourself will never disappoint you, and it will allow you to be on top of your game. Create healthy habits. Since I can remember, I was always very aware of having healthy habits. Eating well, practicing exercise, sleeping enough hours, and this definitely paid off over the years. Now it's like I don't even have to think about sleeping hours, doing temporary diets, because my body is already used and makes things more automatically. I don't have a sweet tooth and I don't feel the need to eat junk food. And around 9 or 10, my body is automatically telling me to go to sleep. You will not want to wait until you have less time and more responsibilities to try to create new habits. on top of your very busy and overwhelming life. At least that's what I felt as the years went by and more events were happening in my life. I felt grateful that I already had these habits intrinsic in me, which actually allowed me to offset some of the negative effects of a busy and stressful life. And of course, it's always a good time to start healthy habits. I'm not saying that if you don't do it in your 20s, everything is lost. But in your 20s, you are more likely to be more malleable and open to change, and take that to advantage and kick off the bad habits. And according to a study made, which concluded that a healthy habit lifestyle among young adults is strongly associated with low cardiovascular disease risk in middle age. So don't waste your 20s on the couch eating junk food and with sleepless nights, because a lot of the side effects of bad habits only start showing 10 to 20 years later, for example, with heart diseases and diabetes. Patience and delayed gratification. A great book on this topic is The Marshmallow Test, a very famous test where children were offered the choice between one marshmallow now or two marshmallows if they waited a short period of time. The results revealed that children who were able to delay gratification or choose the two marshmallows later would more likely to be more successful later in life, according to different measures, of course. So this is basically, if you are able to resist immediate pleasure and invest in the future instead, people tend to develop essential qualities such as discipline, patience, control, and goal-oriented behavior. Luckily, my parents always communicated to me the importance of this idea, what they called spirit of sacrifice. For example, with study habits, study now instead of hanging out with your friends, so I have better results in exams and more options for my career. Save and invest this money now instead of buying that purse or jewelry. And most of the good things that I achieved in my life so far were not instant rewards, but rather outcomes of delayed gratification and my drive to achieve my long-term goals. If delayed gratification doesn't come naturally to you, visualization is a technique that helps. Visualize the long-term plan that you set up for your life. Visualize the future benefits and the sense of accomplishment that will come with achieving your goals. This can help you resist the surge of indulging yourself in the moment. Be aware of who you surround yourself with. Motivational speaker Jim Rohn famously said that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. When it comes to relationships, we are greatly influenced by the ones closest to us, and it can affect the way we think and our self-esteem. So basically, our environment affects us more than we think. Therefore, being aware of the sources of information we consume and the people we spend the most time with will have a great influence on us. And here again, it is important to have your life plan in mind. If you know what type of person you want to be and what qualities you aspire to have, you can identify within your closest circle who are the ones who align with the person you want to become, who supports you to achieve your goals. Because I didn't have a plan set in stone during my teens and my early 20s. I had too many people in my life that now I realize that I didn't identify with, that were all about drama and bringing my energy down. Especially in romantic relationships, because usually you tend to spend more time with these people. If you're sharing your life with someone who has different aspirations or motivations, this person can really hold you back. And this is a concept very much connected with neuroplasticity, which simply is the ability of the brain to reshape itself. For example, when we learn a new language, and this ability changes over time. That's why it's easier for kids to learn new languages than for adults. But in your teens and young adult age, this ability is more strong than when you're older. So this is the right time for you to surround yourself with people who will help you become who you want to be. I saw a huge difference when I reduced my circle with trustworthy and supportive friends. And when I found a husband who shares the same aspirations as I do, I felt that I started to become the person I want to be more easily and much more faster. Learn about emotional intelligence and how to communicate. And you can start by reading the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. This is basically the ability to identify and control your own emotions and understand the emotions of others. This ability can help us build stronger and better relationships at all levels, personal and work. You are more self-aware and you can control your reactions to certain events, to something that someone says about you. You can remain calm in challenging situations, and because you understand your feelings, you can manage them instead of letting them take over your thoughts. For example, if someone is lashing out at you, you can identify how you are feeling about it. Take time for yourself instead of having a reactive response. I noticed a huge difference in myself when I started to learn more about this topic and learn more about myself and my feelings. And the major difference is that I was more aware of who I am, which made me more confident of myself and my capabilities. So when I received criticism and negative feedback, it helped me to use this to improve instead of taking it as a personal attack. It also helped me to ask for help or ask questions, especially at work, because I stopped seeing this as a sign of weakness and more as a sign of wisdom. And this mindset shift makes you seek to grow and develop. I also feel much more connected with people in my life. Because I understand more feelings, I can more easily identify them in other people and be more empathetic to what they are going through. And I think this made me feel closer to them, to understand why they do what they do or why they say what they say, instead of taking things personally and making myself feel bad about something that I cannot even control. And to summarize, this allowed me to focus on what I can control instead of wasting time and honestly mental space in things that probably have nothing to do with me. Failures are blessings, are a path to achieve confidence. I really like this quote from Thomas Edison. I have not failed, I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And looking back to my life, all the setbacks that I had, from not entering in the course that I wanted, breakups, to being rejected for job positions, a bidding for a house that wasn't accepted, businesses that failed, from where I stand now, I'm happy that they happened. I really think they were redirecting me to a much better situation. And these experiences helped me to deal in a much more positive way with rejection. I have the mindset that everything happens for a reason, and even though your plan A did not work out, don't give up and move on to plan B, C, as many plans that are needed until you reach your goal, instead of being quiet in a corner, crying about the fact that plan A did not work out and giving up. Another way to look at it, if you're trying to reach a goal or to do something different and you are faced with obstacles and rejection, it means that you are actually moving forward. Because if you don't get out of your comfort zone, if you don't try something new, you are not developing yourself, you are not increasing your experiences and capabilities. You are and stay the same person doing the same thing. What I like to think when I'm going through these setbacks and I feel more down, what keeps my head up is to think that at least I'm trying, at least I'm doing something about whatever the outcome I want to reach. And as I'm crossed with these obstacles, I gain more experience and knowledge, and I know how to deal with them in the future. And exactly like Thomas Edison put it, overcoming these so-called failures and not giving up will only bring you closer to your goals. And as more setbacks you overcome, the more confident you become about yourself. So really, my advice is don't let setbacks bring you down. They are lessons and redirection in disguise. And you never know how close you are to achieve your goal. And I will end with another quote from Thomas Edison. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Whatever definition of success it is for you. I'm very curious to know and to learn from you, what life lessons did you learn, and do you resonate with the ones that I share in this video? Feel free to share in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.